The National Music Museum. It's near between downtown and the campus. It's on the campus of University of South Dakota. There's the old Carnegie Library building. There's the new addition. We just went through it, and here it is. We're at the National Music Museum, and we're with
Alexander.
Alexander, who's going to take us through. Alexander, where would we start?
Let's start over here in our special exhibit gallery with high strung. It has the last 5 centuries of stringed keyboard. The most important keyboard we have will be this harpsichord back here. It is one of the oldest surviving harpsichords in the world, made from 1520 to 1540. Still in playable condition. We use it still for concerts. We don't let everyone use it, of course, but
It's not okay to touch anything.
no.
It's the original paint, I guess. Huh? Original.
The paint has been painted over before. We can't say for certain which is the original, which one isn't.
So that's a harpsichord.
That's a harpsichord.
And Naples, Italy.
Naples, Italy.
1520.
1540. These are actually both made by the same person. This is just a little virginal meant for a house use. You just sit under that.
Okay. And you make the music by hitting the...
And the keys, this one is not anywhere near playing condition right now.
And then you hit the keys and then they are struck by the
I can actually.
hammers. Is that what they call them, the hammers?
So the harpsichord does not actually have any hammers. You'll see
It plucks it.
Yep, there's a little piece of metal just on this side that will pluck the string itself, creating that very memorable sound.
Okay.
So just a very bright sound, and that is different actually from than the clavichord over here, where instead of plucking it from the side, you'll see the pins come up from the bottom and actually will touch the string itself and stay on it until you let go.
There are pins that come up.
Yes.
And what's this called?
This is a clavichord.
Clavichord. 1804. 1804, that was the year of the Lewis and Clark expedition.
Yes, I always forget about that.
And
So,
harpsichord. And
this one is a double, which just means it has 2 sets of keys here. Here, which is move this out of the way, which allows it to be plucked extra times to create a nice louder sound. That's why there's 2 different sets. It's here, each one holds a pair of strings.
oh, we're lucky to have Alexander today because Alexander is studying these musical instruments.
Uh-oh, are you pretending to be on the harpsichords?
I'm doing my best.
Hello.
She's another
Fellow student here.
Ah,
Hi.
She is a keyboard specialist.
Yes.
ah,
hello.
hi, I'm Andy. And
I'm Adele. Very nice
Adele,
to meet you.
yes. So he's helping us with the some of the keyboard instruments, and you're also. So now you're helping us.
Yeah, any questions
Okay.
you have, we're happy
So
to-
we've gotten so far through 3 instruments here.
All right. Oh boy, this one.
You know a lot more than I do.
I still don't know a whole lot. He says specialist, but I'm still a student. So this is our four harpsichords. This is a 17th century French harpsichord. It's rather unusual in that it's only a single manual, so it only has the 1 keyboard, whereas this one has the 2. Most of the French harpsichords from this time period and moving on are going to have the 2 keyboards. This one's somewhat unusual in that it only has 1. We don't know a whole lot about the maker. We know this was made in Paris, 1683. And some point it was repaired, it's had some alterations done to it. So the keyboard compass has been changed and enlarged a little bit. And it's also particularly interesting, as you can see, because of the condition of it that we received it in, meaning that the soundboard is free floating in there, and so we can take it out and we can see all of the framing on the inside of the harpsichord and all of the soundboard wiring as well. The decoration would not have been original, but it is very pretty. And this is our Hayward Spinet. So 1689 on this one.
Spinet.
Spinet, yes. So a spinet is essentially the same function as a harpsichord, but as you can see, it's kind of slanted. And so this is similar to how a square piano or an upright piano takes up less space in the home.
Uh-huh.
So this is a little harpsichord that you can have, put it in a little corner, takes up less space.
Oh. Awesome.
This is kind of an interesting instrument because it does have,
Can we
actually this
hear
is
it?
called a broken octave. Yes, I can show you. In the bass here, which basically means that as we go down, so if we go down chromatically,
Okay.
so
I don't know what that means.
regularly we'd have a scale like this, right? We go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight down. And here, we go actually up.
That one's
Go down.
broken.
It's not broken. This, the tension's a little low on that string. Yeah, these bass strings, the tension is a little lower than it should be on them. But you can see that, so it takes up less space, and that's because we don't actually need those very low accidentals for the style of music that we're playing. And so, you know, why have the extra notes, the extra strings for notes that you're never going to use? And so we have, this is called a broken octave, because as you can see, that second to lowest white key there is actually two separate keys. So the front and the back play different notes.
Oh. Oh, I see.
So this is the E flat, and then this is going to be that.
Do you guys keep these in tune?
So for the most part, yes, we do kind of keep the playable instruments roughly in tune.
So then this has to be climate controlled in here.
Yes, the entire building is climate controlled.
So it'll be this same temperature and humidity inside, whether it's May or October.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Okay, this one's fun. Well, I say that I am not particularly fond of this instrument, mostly because it's very difficult to tune. And I was given the task of tuning it once. It made me cry, so I don't like to do that anymore.
Okay.
But, so this is our Kirkman harpsichord. This is a late 18th century English harpsichord. And the thing about, you know, the late 18th century is that we're getting the piano as well. And so the piano has dynamics, the harpsichord does not. So how do you get a harpsichord that can compete with the dynamics of a piano? And that's what this is. This is called a Venetian swell. When I push this pedal down here, this opens, and you'll hear the change in sound. And so it has a fuller sound when that is open.
It's very cool sounding, isn't it?
Yes. So that helps to compete with the dynamics of the piano. And then kind of in a similar vein, this is a very early French piano, and they call it really just a harpsichord with hammers. And that's how they were thinking of it at the time. It was less of a new instrument and more of a new type of harpsichord.
But it's a piano.
Yes, this is an early piano. So it does have hammers.
Can you hit it?
I can. The tension on the strings is very low. You're not going to hear much sound. But
Okay.
let me see. I don't know if it's working here. So again, it's very low.
Okay.
It's not really in playable condition, but you can hear the noise that it makes.
Sure. Okay.
So,
Ooh, my goodness.
yes, this is a gorgeous
Ooh.
piano.
Holy cow.
Yes. So this
Look
is
at this.
late 19th century. This was made in Baltimore. Yeah, this is one of my favorite instruments. Brazilian rosewood, I believe, and it's absolutely stunning. And I love the sound of this. I find that it has a very open, very typically American sound in a way that I kind of have trouble explaining, but I love that.
That is something.
Isn't it a gorgeous sound?
That'd make you, I don't know, write bad checks or something.
Yeah. But yes, I adore this instrument. I love the sound of it. And of course it's just stunning. I don't think you can really look at this instrument and not fall in love with it.
No. That is good. And those are ivory, of course. Right. Beautiful.
Yeah, this is very much a fan favorite here.
Company. Bill, you did a good job.
Yes.
Looks like a finger joint. A repair, maybe. Just a little damage there. Some glue sticking out.
Well,
That's nice.
it's
Whoops.
1865, so it's been around for a while.
Yeah. Stuff's gonna happen.
Yep. Harp piano. This is not in playable condition. You can see the hammers on this. These are original. And so it's a sort of piano. It's a sort of early piano. And the action on this, you can see, is very, very simple. You can just see it's directly connected to the key lever there. And so when you push the key down, it just kind of sends the hammer flying up. And then it will come down to rest slightly below the string so it can be resonating.
Wow.
Yes. And then this one, it's a real pity that it's not on display right now. It's finishing up having some restoration work done to it.
Can we go see that downstairs?
That is upstairs. And
Upstairs?
I can call upstairs and find out if they would be willing to let you see it. I imagine the answer is yes, but I just have to call and make sure.
Okay.
But yeah, this is.
I'll hold you to it.
Yes. I'll tell you some more about it. We can go upstairs. And this is a little cottage piano. This is a broadwood upright, so an English piano.
Uh-huh. Cottage piano. We had one of those on our cottage in Wisconsin. Okay.
This is cool. So this is a downward striking grand piano that was made by Nanette Streicher. And she was actually a close personal friend of Beethoven. She and her husband were close friends of his. Nanette was the daughter of Stein, who invented the Viennese action, and it's kind of the favorite piano maker of Mozart's. This is his daughter that made this. And so it's downward striking, and so you can see the unusual shape of it. The hammers are sitting above the strings rather than below, and so they actually strike downward onto the strings rather than coming up, as with normal pianos.
Can you hit?
This one it's not in playing condition right now.
Okay.
It just kind of depends on what condition the instruments come to us in. We generally.
1829.
Yep.
Vienna, Austria.
So this would have been 2 years after Beethoven died. This was made.
I like to look at the legs of some.
Yeah.
They didn't mess around, did they?
Mm-mm. No, she knew what she was doing. That is our that's our Blue Star Museum program. And so throughout the summer, so up until Labor Day, any active duty military as well as veterans and up to 4 members of their family will be able to come into the museum for free.
Okay.
So,
Great, thank you. So you can come in for free if you're active or a veteran
yes, along with up to 4 members of your family who will also be
through Memorial Day,
through Labor Day.
through Labor Day,
Yes.
all summer.
Yep, all summer.
Oh my goodness.
All summer. But the museum was closed in 2018 for renovation and expansion. A big reason for that was just we had so many instruments. We had, when you have around 14,000 instruments, the one building and keeping things in the basement and just keeping things wherever you can, it's not enough. And so we have expanded the museum, we've done some renovations to keep things better climate controlled, and now we have an off-site storage facility where we keep the instruments that don't fit here.
Oh.
We also have staff offices which are over this way, which is great because before the expansion, our staff was in the basement. So they are much happier now that they have proper office space.
Now, there's a restoration
Yes.
place up here.
Yes.
And we'll
This
get to
is the
see that.
conservation lab.
We get to see that one that's under restoration.
Yep, so this is the conservation lab. So we have a number of instruments up here. And this is our Tangentenflügel. So the soundboard had been taken out so that he could repair some cracks. As you can see, the cracks have been repaired. The soundboard is looking absolutely fantastic. And it's been glued back in, and he's just working on replacing the moldings now. So this instrument is called a Tangentenflügel, or a tangent piano.
So the moldings will go around the edges here.
Yes. You can see at the bent side, there will be moldings like that all the way around.
Okay. Looks like, fir. The wood that they
Usually it's a conifer wood that'll be used for the baseboards and things.
Somebody spilt their coffee on it, looks like.
Again, it's an old instrument. We don't know all of its history, but it's been through some things. And
Would
you know-
these
Yes.
would these marks be made by the original?
I don't know whether these marks would have been made by the original. It is interesting that they are in Italian, as this is a Viennese instrument. But Italian has been for some time kind of the language of music.
And I can't make anything out there. That's just a lock plate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this instrument was made by Spate and Schmall. And actually the Spate Tangentenflügel was Mozart's preferred instrument before he came into contact with Stein's pianos.
Really?
So this type of instrument is what Mozart would have played when he was younger. This and the harpsichord and the clavichord.
Now, he started playing very young age.
Yes, very, very young.
Like, he was a musical.
Pretty much, as soon as he could hold a bow and as soon as he could, sit at a piano, his father was giving him violin and piano lessons.
Do you want to talk about any of this other stuff up there being fixed?
I don't know a whole ton about some things that are going on up here, but this is neat. You can see a whole range of clarinets, and so you can see these are more of the modern system that we recognize, going all the way back to the classical style clarinets with a fewer keys.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can see the evolution of the instrument kind of laid out on the table, which I think is pretty neat.
So I actually know about this trombone specifically. So this one was made in Germany, but it was used in a Japanese World War II military band on one of the islands. The guy who brought it over traded it for a pack of cigarettes. He came over, traded it to someone else on another ship for 2 packs of cigarettes, I believe it was.
Is that the case for it?
No, this is a euphonium. I don't know about anything in here,
Okay.
but I don't believe this one has the case. But
So that was worth 1 pack of cigarettes.
yeah.
About, today, it depends where you're at, but
And the cool part, in my opinion, is the snake design that's on the bell guard on both this and the slide that goes with it.
uh-huh.
It's a very German in design.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
And
that's
this here is some of the action from the Tangentenflügel. So you can see on the left there,
The action from the who?
the Tangentenflügel.
Tangentenflügel.
Tangentenflügel, or a tangent piano.
Tangent piano.
Yes. So these are the dampers here. So you can see this will rest at the end of the key lever. And when you push a key down, then this comes up. And so this usually rests on the string and quiets it.
Uh-huh.
Then this lifts while the key is pressed downwards.
Uh-huh.
And that allows the string to resonate. So it's very similar to on a modern piano.
All right. Once you see it
And then
broken
this
down,
is-
it doesn't look as complicated, but
It's a very simple instrument. The early Viennese instruments, one of the things that I personally love about them is how simple they are. It's really quite remarkable. And this here, this is called a moderator. And so you can see there's these little thin bits of leather.
Yeah.
And when this is engaged, the leather comes between the strings and the hammer, so that the hammer is hitting the string through this little thin layer of leather, and it gives it a kind of different timbre. It's slightly more muted, but I think it's really, it's kind of an ethereal sound quality that it gives it.
I knew a different timbre in college.
Yeah?
Yeah, she was quite a looker. But different.
Yeah. And then this is the keyboard of the tunnel table. And so you can see here, this little stick will propel the hammer up to hit the string when all of that is put together.
These,
So it's a very simple mechanism.
it looks like, these are painted black, or are they just made out of black wood?
This looks like they've been stained.
Stained. So it's reverse of what we think about white and then the
Yes.
black on the flat keys.
Yep.
I feel like that the wood is a stained walnut wood, looking at it on the keyboard, on the black
Walnut?
keys. That's my guess.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? There's also a wood called ebony. Is
Yes.
that- and we're on the campus of South Dakota University, in case I didn't tell you. This is right on the campus. I don't think it's part of the university, is it?
It is part of the university.
It
yes.
is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
And are these wires used to tune? These are the strings you use?
Yes, these wires are used for stringing the keyboard instruments.
So those
So
will
we have different
be
material, different gauges.
yellow and rose gold brass. That's it. Just they'll resonate good, and it's various mixes of it's zinc and copper. I always forget the copper.
Yep, so red brass has the higher percentage of copper, that's the reddish color that it gives it.
So this is the restoration room. Very cool.
Yes,
And this is part of the new construction.
yes, yes, this is all new.
Up here will be mostly focused on the art of making the instruments and the instruments as art themselves. Once we get a few million more or dollars in donations, we'll be able to fully renovate it. We did just get a $1 million donation and from a philanthropist just north of us in Sioux Falls.
So I'll put a link in our description if you want to open your wallet. And what's the minimum that they can donate?
I'm not really sure.
To get like gold level?
Do we have a minimum amount of money to donate?
So some of these will be upstairs with our phase 2, and some of these are in our playable collection. So this is 1967, that's it. This is a Portuguese piano.
Portuguese?
Yes, Portuguese. And this one is quite near and dear to our hearts because the hammers are original. The hammers and their coverings are all original.
They're perfect, aren't they?
So all of that action is
Do you play piano?
a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit, yes.
Okay. I always wanted to learn, but I get frustrated and quit.
I understand. I've had that when I've tried to learn new instruments. But I started piano when I was young, and so I think I had more of that resilience.
Now my
for it.
sister, she, can play with her eyes closed and stuff,
Wow.
She's really good. And she writes music. Yeah. Bloomroad.com, my sister.
Oh.
Bloom Road, yeah. That's her recording studio.
Wow.
She's got a YouTube channel too. I'll put a link here, and you can go to that and listen to my sister play. She also sings mostly a lot of religious music. And
If I may, just really
Good.
quickly, it's quite cool because it has 3 sets of 8-foot strings. So the full length, you can see that there are 3 strings, and it will have hand stops once we're finished working on it, so that you can easily change between how many sets of strings are being plucked at the same time. So kind of how full of a sound you're going to get off.
what does this sound like? Do you have that?
It's It's really quite a lovely sound, I think.
It is.
Yeah. This is an Italian harpsichord.
Look at this thing.
This will be used in a concert in September,
It's
actually.
got a little damage there. No, those are just, that's where the technicians can get in there and turn things.
Yep, and that's where we'll have the hand stops coming from.
But look at this. Ornate, what do they call this? Kind of treatment. Do you know what?
I'm not sure exactly what we would call it.
I don't know. Gilded or something.
Yeah, some kind of applique.
Yeah.
But yes, the decoration would not have been original, but again, it is
No.
It is very pretty. Many of the old instruments that we have that come down to us, the decoration is not original.
Okay.
And the simplest reason for that is that people kind of change the decorations on their instruments whenever they redecorate their houses.
What year is this?
This one, where is this one? I'm trying to remember. Do you see a tag on it?
Doesn't have a museum tag on it.
It's 1798.
Now, how do you acquire these instruments?
Some of them are donations. Sometimes, people have a really old instrument and they want somewhere to put it, but often they will come up for sale at various auctions or things, and we bid for them.
Wow.
So it just depends. Some of them are bought, some of them are donated.
Looks like Latin.
Yes,
If you read Latin, you...
I do not know.
I don't know any Latin. A few little things,
This is a Flemish harpsichord here. This is Van Averbroek, I believe. One of the things I like about the Flemish harpsichord.
Can we hear it?
It's not in great condition right now, but you can hear a little bit of what it sounds like. Something I like, I think it's rather funny about the Flemish harpsichords, is they like to paint shrimp on their soundboards.
Shrimp.
Shrimp. So you can see there's one there. There's another little guy up here. So for some reason, the Flemish like to paint shrimp onto their harpsichord soundboards.
Flemish. I don't know where that works.
So that is part of Belgium.
Belgium. Okay.
This is a modern replica of an instrument. This was made by Thomas and Barbara Wolfe. So it's just kind of a standard 2-manual harpsichord.
So this is what it's evolved to now.
Well, not exactly. So this is a modern recreation of a historical instrument. So actually, this one and then these 2 pianos next to it are all replicas of historical instruments. And so the thing that we like about replicas is that you can get a good idea of what the instrument would have sounded like originally without having to do a lot of restoration on an existing instrument, so that you can keep the existing instruments in the condition that they're in and keep them to study. And then you can have things like this where you can actually hear, for instance, what a Viennese piano from around 1800 would have sounded like.
Viennese.
Yes. So this is a replica of a Chantz piano from around 1800. And this is also a Viennese instrument. This is a replica of a Stein piano from around 1784.
Needs batteries. Where do you plug it in?
The sled, if I can get, yeah. So the sled goes in there and that raises the actions it'll play.
Okay. It's not complete right now.
Not quite. Just the actions if I can do it. This is our Germain harpsichord. This is our lovely French double. So this is an original historical keyboard.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, this is really stunning. This was used in a concert in October.
Good Lord.
Yes. It's a fantastic concert. It's really a stunning instrument.
French.
So 1785.
Got something going on over here.
Yeah. So this is a pretty standard Italian harpsichord. This is our Rodolphi. It's a 17th century Italian. It was made in Rome. It's a nice instrument. I don't think there's anything
Special.
It is a very good example of a typical Italian harpsichord, and it sounds quite nice. Let's see if it's in tune. Not too bad.
Wow.
Let me get the nice.
Oops.
Oh, no, goodness.
Needs a little work.
It does a little bit. What's going on here? Oh, I know what's going on here.
There's some,
That would be why.
the prop rod's on it.
Yes, it was. Let's try that again.
So I know Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Yes. What you might not know about Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, or you might, is that it is a French folk song, and that we
Oh,
know it
we're getting a little
mostly-
music theory here.
We know it mostly because of Mozart's theme and 12 variations that he did on Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Is that right?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't called Twinkle Twinkle Little Star at the time, but. So this is a Sicilian virginal. So this is similar to a spinet in that the action is the same as a harpsichord. It's plucked.
A Sicilian what?
It's called a virginal.
Okay,
So
wait a
it's-
second. There's got to be a joke there somewhere.
Oh, people have made all kinds of jokes. We don't know for certain why it was called that. It's been suggested that it was because these were often played by young women.
Okay.
That isn't completely verified. We really don't know exactly why it's called that.
Okay, so
but-
men would wait to hear one of these and then come running.
Well, there is a long history of women, learning to play musical instruments as a way of showing that they are accomplished young women who would make good wives.
Now, I don't want to ask, but could you play for us?
This one?
Yes.
This one is not in playing condition right now.
Okay, I don't see strings, but are there strings?
Yep, there are
Okay.
strings. It's just not in a
Oh, yeah,
good
there's-
condition to play right now.
Okay, it's dusty too. Very
Yes.
good.
Yes, it is. And then this is the recent acquisition for the museum. This is a Harrison spinet.
Looks like it'll play.
Yes, it will.
Wow.
So a very bright English sound on this one.
They all sound different.
Yes.
It's
Yes, they do.
amazing.
Yes.
It's like
yes.
red wine. You take a sip of red wine and then you take another sip. It's very subtle, the differences in it. Same with these things, but these are more pronounced, I think.
Yes, there's a lot
You
of
can
color,
hear-
a lot of character to them.
Yeah.
Um,
And
I think a lot of that's
Almost
been lost in the
everyone-
modern instruments.
Almost everyone in the museum will also have a different instrument they prefer the sound of these.
Yep.
I've never understand why people say, well, I love Diet Pepsi, but I hate Diet Coke. And there's not too much difference between them, right? Same with, light beers.
Oh, goodness.
They need money to open up this wing of the museum. We have a little gift shop that sort of fun. Sax appeal. It's great.
It's a fun little, it's essentially a bicycle with a body. It makes a lot of noises. These are kind of dampened by this, but we got those.
It's kind of Dr. Seussish kind of stuff.
That's kind of what I thought.
Yep. But it is called the Caddywhack because it is our catfish Cadillac. Is what it is.
And it makes a lot of wacky noises.
Yes.
Okay.
And as you can see, it does have pedals and the wheels and everything. And so for some of our local parades, one of our deputy directors will actually drive this through the parades downtown. So it does get some action.
It's got wheelbarrow tires. Interesting. Caddywhack.
Seriously.
So, you can get a hold of them here. Lifetime contributions of $100,000. You can get your name here. Now, I know there's a lot of musicians. See if you know anybody on this list. But there are a lot of musicians who make a lot of money. And the reason you're making the money is because somebody invented an instrument. And so this is the history. So, lifetime contributions of $10,000. The goal of this video is to at least get 10 people to give $10,000 each. So, leave it in the comments if you're doing it. All right. We need 100,000 out of you guys. And make sure you like the video too. Like the video or bad things will happen to you. Now, look here. Wow. And we're in the original part of the museum now.
But this man, Arnie Larson, he was was a band director in Brookings, and he had a collection of musical instruments that he'd started. And he eventually moved to Vermillion to be a professor at USD. And by that time, he had around 2,500 instruments in his house. And he needed a place to put them, because you have that many instruments in your house, and your wife and kids start getting a little upset because there's no room for them. So he asked if he could stash some of the instruments here in the Carnegie Library building, and the university said yes. And in 73, 76, 73, that his son Andre helped this to open up into a proper museum.
So he's the founder.
Yes. Yes, Arnie Larson started our collection, and Andre Larson was our first museum director.
Kids can come over here and anytime and bang on these.
Yep. Yep, and you can see.
I always love these. They're weighted, you know.
Yeah.
They're very
You
nice.
can see here we have, for different instruments here, the numbers that you hit to play.
Oh,
So that you can actually hear a melody similar to that of what you would hear on the
Okay.
instrument itself.
yeah, I'm not musical at all.
But we get a lot of people who come in here, musical or otherwise, and
People ask me to go sing karaoke just so they can have a good laugh.
So this is the Amati King cello. It is the oldest surviving cello in the world. Well, and as you can see, there's art on there. There's believed to be part of a painted set of instruments gifted to the French king. And in fact, actually, if you like the Three Musketeers, anytime music is played in the book or in any of those movies, there's a good chance that this would have been the cello played.
It's kind of glaring because
Made
it's
by,
covered in glass.
so this is made by Andrea Amati, who is one of the big names in the violin world. Made some of the earliest cellos, as well as some really high quality cellos as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't take too much longer, and those were kind of part of our main string instruments. Kind of taking the role that the viola da gamba did have while they coexisted. So they are similar instruments. Well, this is a treble viola da gamba, which
Has an extra high string.
it has 6 strings total actually.
6.
They are tuned slightly differently. So the cello and violins are all in fifths, while the viola da gambas are all in fourths. They're that music theory. These were used more in small settings where it sounded have to travel far, while the cello took the role for the large stages where they had to have that sound able to travel far and clearly. That was mostly just caused by the way the shape of the back is. Cellos, violins, they have curved violas. Da gamba.
1609. If you can't read that, it says 1609.
Now, another big reason we no longer see the viola da gambas is because of the French revolutions. The peasantry saw these instruments as the instruments of nobles, of the rich folk. So they converted a lot of them into violins and cellos, which kind of killed off their last surviving foothold.
although looking at the shape of this, you'll notice that the shape of the viola da gamba is the shape of the modern upright bass. And so while the cello, the violin, and the viola are all part of the same instrument family, the modern upright bass is actually a descendant of the viol. It's not a member of the violin family, which you can probably talk more about since you are a bassist.
Yes. Well, the bass, because of its size, was still able to carry that sound, and so they decided to just keep its nice, mellow sound. And then they didn't have to get rid of a whole bunch. Just with main characteristics being the way these corners are. I kind of call more of an arrow shape type body compared to that like the cello where it has those full shoulders up top. And then also in these ribs, the cello and violin family, they have those points sticking out, and that doesn't happen on the viola da gambas.
I'm recognizing a name here.
Stradivari, yes.
Stradivari.
So Stradivari is very famous in the violin world especially. He made what is considered to be some of the highest quality violins. And it's commonly just called Stradivarius.
And did he put the label inside the
Yes, inside there should
music
be a label.
box? Is that what they call it, sound box? Or
Yeah. And now that one is actually a playable one. It has been used before. Then it started getting requested so much that we had to kind of dial back on it because we had to tell them, hey, this is really well preserved compared to most.
this is a guitar that's got Stradivari on it.
Yes. Yep. And now
So
there are 10 strings on there,
I see
sets
that.
of, there are 5 pairs total.
sure.
And that was mostly to help that sound and carry further.
Okay. So that's cream of the crop right there, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
These are your 4 most expensive stringed instruments.
Not sure how expensive any of them are, I have to be honest. I just know
They're some of our finest and our rarest, absolutely.
they
So
have some of the most historical value of anything we have.
that's right. And if you touch the glass, the alarms go off and then spikes shoot up from the floor. So you can't do
Yes,
it.
we studied the Indiana Jones movies extensively before we designed these.
Right. And it's electrified. Everything's electrified in
Yes.
here. Right. There's cameras everywhere. See. No? I don't see any cameras.
They're there.
Oh, there's one.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the guitar room, ukulele.
Probably the guitar that people will really want to say will be back here. We have one of Elvis's guitars.
Although I'm personally very fond.
Elvis who?
Elvis Presley.
Oh, Presley.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. What is this thing?
So that is a harp guitar. It has both of a parts of harp and also a guitar that you could play together.
I think I've seen that, something like that.
I love these as well. Gibson's lyre mandolins are really just stunning.
Yeah. Look at that.
And
Lyre mandolin. Orville Gibson.
if you look from the back, you can sort of see how this is all carved out of one piece of wood. Look at that. It is really just spectacular craftsmanship.
Wow.
He was really something. I don't have to know anything about guitars to know that he was really quite amazing.
He was very talented.
Oh yeah.
Joan Baez. They keep the lights low in here to preserve the instruments. And so I have to carry a handheld light with me. And occasionally you'll see the glare. And that's why. Cool. We're gonna.
Yes, this right here though is one of Elvis Presley's guitar. He gave it to a woman after a concert who was in the audience.
She didn't take very good care of it.
Oh, he broke the guitar.
He broke it during the show itself.
Yeah.
And that's why he gave it away.
I believe that is true. That is why
As far as
he,
I know, yeah.
So this was Elvis's guitar.
One of them, yes.
one of very many.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Wow. Blues. This is Dobra. What do they call that? Dobro. I love listening to the Dobro. I think it's cool. It's a slide guitar type thing.
Yeah. I know this one belongs to the jazz musician Fergie Lewis, or blues, I should say specifically.
It belonged to. He died in '81. Fergie Lewis.
Yeah. So the second guitar here actually belongs to the country singer Sean Colvin, who comes from Vermillion here in this town.
Oh, John Colvin.
I actually got to meet her not too long ago. She was very nice.
Is this her?
Yes, right here.
And that's
Allison.
Alison Krauss. She's from near my hometown, Champaign, Illinois. Yep. Oh, let's see. Okay. This is not about guitars so much. Here's some more. Interesting though. I know my brother-in-law, Uno, is into guitars. He would love this place.
And then these are two different workshops. One's a violin maker, the other one is from a guitar maker. We photographed how they were, packed everything up, brought them back and put as much as we could back how it was. Even as much as those wood scrapings right there are from the actual workshop.
So this is really an inside look, and the background here, this photo looking outside, was the view from the workshop. So we really tried to kind of put you inside the workshop itself.
And you can also see just how different guitar versus violin makers are and how nice and neat the areas are.
Yeah.
Also the type of area to put that together, and this is Daryl's baby.
That would make sense, yeah.
All right.
Guitars and violins.
Some of the materials they used, different kinds of wood. It's very interesting, very well curated, you guys. Some very interesting stuff. It's hard to make a video about music history without getting some copyright music in the background, so I apologize. Let's see. And more. It just keeps going. So this used to be a library, Carnegie Library. $14,000 plus cataloged exhibits. So, and just look at this library. I mean, beautiful.
Hi there, I'm Michael Sewing, a Deputy Director at the National Music Museum, and I'm here to talk to you about fundraising for our project here. We have been fortunate to have all of these great individuals believe in the gallery exhibition and expansion program here at the National Music Museum. We've completed our first floor galleries, which you got to see a little bit of there. We're working on fundraising for the second floor. All in, it's about $4 million. We were fortunate to get some seed money from a foundation, the T. Denny Sanford Foundation, of $1 million, and are looking for any help we can get to achieve that goal, to bring the rest of our galleries to completion. And it's a great little secret here in South Dakota. We're happy to be a part of this this rural community, but we have a global reach, to be sure.
So Michael, this is his card, and you can pick up the phone or send him an email and donate a little money. Keep this place, going. They're doing a great job here. It's beautiful. It's clean. It's amazing. Doesn't cost very much to come. They let me in for free because I'm a veteran. And they left a lot of space for other names. So put your name up there. We can talk to them about a bigger font for you. If
There you go.
A couple 100,000, maybe a bigger font for you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
That's going to wrap it up. This is a terrific place to come visit. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to me. I'm on my way to Alaska. See you later.